what a good life is and what a good person is on the outside. And there's so much behind the veil that we have as we walk by people, the veil we put on people, our impressions. And I'm just couldn't be luckier, couldn't be more grateful to be on this journey and meeting these people and getting them to share their stories.
What were your thoughts going into Great Falls? Like just the initial oh, this is Great Falls. Like
Yeah. Oh, and that's it. I mean, interesting too. Christine yesterday, the crazy ass military husband. So, not only is she burned out of her house after all that, bananas, man. 17, lived in 17 places in the last 2 years with her kids.
Wow.
And one thing that I've learned through all that I've experienced in my life is when there's an opportunity, you don't pass it up. And so I came up here, and we have known each other for 6 years, my friend and I, but online. We'd never met before.
What? Oh my God. That's okay. That's crazy.
And so we came up here, and it was like we'd, always known each other in person, and we felt like we belonged. And I was still intending on going back home for the winter because I didn't have permanent housing. I'm living in an RV trailer.
Yeah, that's something.
And I'm like, I don't necessarily want to do the winter thing in
an RV. No.
No. But my kids were like, Mom, we really don't want to leave. We want to stay here. They were tired of moving. And who can blame them? 17 times and still not finding
home.
We want.
The kids need a home.
Exactly.
Do you know how to really listen and hear someone's story and feel their pain?
Absolutely. That's why I started coaching. I felt like I had been through a lot, and I wanted to be able to help other people on their journey. And, sometimes that's asking questions to allow them to come to their own insight. Because, truly a good coach will allow you to lead yourself.
Yeah.
They don't tell you how to feel or what to do necessarily. They're not going to be your bossy mom. They're not going to make you do your homework. But, a good coach will assign you homework. And that's your job is to go and do it.
Okay.
Because you want to grow and move forward in your life. That's why you hire a coach. So anyway, absolutely listening to people's stories and having compassion and empathy, and then helping them to see that, while those things happened, there's a journey forward.
He robbed of all the super dope drugs out of the some family's pharmacy when he was a kid.
Wow.
17. He turned 18 in jail. He did 5 years because it was a Class A felony. And then when he got out, the first person that had him over for dinner was the pharmacy. And then the next, the family had him over. He lived in a small town, and they're like redemption, right? He went and they invited him over for dinners. The second person that he had dinner with that invited him over was the judge that sentenced him to 5 years.
Wow. Oh my God.
I know, just a crazy story, right?
Small town, north central Washington. Grew up in the 70s, probably I think the best time to be alive. We had the best music, best cars, best looking women. I'm 60, grandfather 5, living the dream here in Montana.
Let's get started.
Okay, great, because I'm better at answering questions and talking about myself.
Yeah, let's get started.
Ooh, this one. Okay. That's yeah, I like that one.
Oh, yeah, this is great, especially your place in life. Is your heart more open now than when you were younger, or is it more closed?
Wow. Yeah. I think that's a fine line, because by the time my first grandkid was born in November 2005, well, so many years ago, I was pretty much cold-hearted. Pretty much a cold-hearted SOB, really. Most people would have told you.
Hmm.
And then holding him for the first time, I felt my heart, and then his heart grew 2 sizes, and he died of a heart attack. No, I think that at the time when my grandkids were born, my heart was more open. But as I've seen the way the world's going now, I think towards people that aren't family or close friends or in my circle or my tribe, I'm more cold-hearted.
It's an interesting little place.
Did you get any shots of the Great Falls? I'm assuming there's a big waterfall or something like that around there.
I don't know. I haven't. I gotta go look and see on. Some of these ones are just still like, still my head's still spinning. I haven't had time to do the tourist thing.
Yeah, ask one of the people you see today.
You could ask Steve or Amber. Actually, Amber grew up there.
Yeah.
Moved away and came back, so she's a boomeranger.
Grew up here in Great Falls and loved being here. Loved life. I've always pretty much been a pretty easy person and enjoy life as it comes. I moved away, my husband and I, in 2002, and we lived in Kosovo for 6 years. We were missionaries, and we worked with a humanitarian aid organization.
Wow. Okay. Do you share your worldview with others openly?
And I would, I picked it because I really like that, because I think that so much right now is about people's worldview, and that comes up so often. And I would say I do share my worldview with people openly, but not readily.
Oh, okay.
It has to be in a
great.
situation or a space where I know that there's a willingness to hear that.
Yes.
I'm not going to just impose it on somebody necessarily, though, and bring it out and go, oh, this is how the world is, and this is how I think it is. You need to hear that. If it's something, though, that comes up in a conversation, absolutely, because I think that's how we all grow, and we all should be able to learn from each other by having a different worldview, by having a different perspective. If you could donate my time tomorrow, what would you do and why? I think I would, just the first thing that popped in my head is I would probably go and volunteer at the high school just to talk to kids, because I have 2 high schoolers. I think that teenagers are a vastly misunderstood, forgotten, and looked over time frame of life for a lot of people. But it's also such a sweet time of life for a lot of these kids, and they need that attention. And I just think it's so amazing, because they're trying to grow into their own people and try to become people, but their brains aren't even fully functioning all the way, for crying out loud. So they don't even know how to do this, but they're trying to think big thoughts. And I wonder if sometimes they just need somebody to listen to them think big thoughts.
I actually went from being a 4.0 student to just not really giving a crap about school, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And music really took over my life around that time period. And ever since then, I've been hooked. There's some days I'm given 15-hour days inside of my studio, and I'll go back and do it the next day because I love it so much. And I think one day it will all be so worth it.
And what kind of music? Are you producing or singing or?
Both. I do a little bit of everything. I produce all of my own beats. I do all the mixing and engineering, sound work. I do write, of course, all my own lyrics. I rap / sing, whichever kind of fits the beat.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Found one you like?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. You're still quite young.
Yeah.
Do you treat people differently at this age than when you were younger?
I do, because as you get older, you learn that not everyone is your friend, and you can want to be friends with everybody, but sometimes relationships are just best being peers, sometimes not even that. But as a kid, my Nana says I was always really outgoing and inclusive. I really tried my best at a young age to do that and include everyone and make friends with everyone. But as I got older, yeah, with the music, I've been like kind of a hermit crab. People haven't seen me in the past years, and that's part of the reason why I'm so excited to just talk with you right now, is because I really haven't gave who I am to the people who care.
What happens to our negative thoughts? Do they just disappear?
As a collective, I'm not sure what happens to our thoughts, but mine, they get put on paper almost immediately and they get transformed into music. And really, that's been the greatest way for me to get through a lot of things in my life. Yeah. I started writing when I was probably 4th grade, but I didn't start making music until I was in high school. And just recently, in the past couple of years, I started taking it really as seriously as I could. Yeah. And so, but no, those thoughts don't necessarily disappear.
So you just yeah, they don't disappear, right?
We're just projecting them different ways sometimes.
Yeah, and then that was about the day right there, right? Head back and try to get some, try to find some food. And then I ran into Mr. DJ Khalid, DJ Stacks, and he did listen. Now, it was funny. Then the guy, and it takes me to a barbershop, and it's packed, jam little barbershop. His buddies shaving heads. And some kid in the chair knows Hunter, went to high school with him. Just said like, yeah, he's a kid, just doing his music thing, blah, blah, blah. Played the music. He had a good rap. I mean, his Instagram.
It's good.
His Instagram thing is pretty good.
Yeah, so, but never, I guess the summary would be that I've avoided, I'm a free spirit and wanted to avoid, corporate culture or whatever it was that I believed it was an opportunity cost. Like, how much am I going to give of myself? How much am I going to get in return? I want to be able to get up and go at any time. I only have so much time, and where do I want to put my energy?
Yes.
And then I have my beautiful boy. I talked to him last night about what is it okay for a mommy to share? And he's like, oh no, please tell them that you have a son and tell them my name. I'll just say that it's a Norse god, the god of war, the great god.
Love it.
Yes, Norse mythology. He's amazing, but we've had quite a journey. And so the last decade, I've been very focused on advocating for him and having to navigate all these systems.
And how old is he?
He is 9.5.
Okay.
Yeah. And
he's a cluster food.
Sorry, food.
They'll
censor it out. Right?
No, we'll just get an M. We'll just get an M next to it, which is for mature.
Mature.
I am so far past mature. I'm so far away from mature.
Yeah, are we talking biologically or
I skip mature. Yeah, I skip maturity.
So I'll let you read that.
Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. I think this is a good start for you. What's the real cost to you personally to not let go or to not forgive?
The earliest drama was pretty easy to forgive because the people involved were not complete adults, but close. And I don't know why, but that was pretty easy to forgive. These other traumas, I guess I think now I'm like, oh, I haven't forgiven one of these people. The other one I have. because it's a weight. I mean, they talk about, I've heard people say, well, cancer comes from anger that you don't release, that just gets stuck in your cells and grows, you know. But there is a component there that I believe is like, so
worriness, and this can cause sickness for sure. But you're
yeah, well,
carrying
anxiety
something
can create
around.
stress.
Absolutely.
So then you can get into the science of it. You can talk about cortisol and adrenaline.
Yeah, break cells up, and sure, I'm sure there's an energy. It's a very interesting interview. It's very clearly and self-described somebody who's still dealing with a lot of trauma, and specifically a rape. When she was 18, and something she didn't really realize or reflect on until she was a bit older, and something she can't get past on forgiveness, and can see it really is impacting her life today. And you know, she's also a mom who's got an autistic child on the spectrum, and you know, that's a whole nother set of emotions and life experience. She's a great person, and I think sitting down with the jar was powerful for her. I couldn't be more grateful at the end of today. I feel like we're doing something that matters. I feel like we're doing something that will touch people. And you know, if TV stations want to hear about what you're doing, you might be doing something really bad, or you might be doing something really good. And I hope we can find a way to keep the stories going, keep the interviews coming. Hope you enjoy the journey like I am. I did my first I broke my TV career, began in, you know, Billings, Montana, playing ping pong.
I want to see your ping pong skills.
Oh, I was dope. I told them I was going to crush them. You know, of course, that was as soon as you're like, we'll play ping pong. And I'm like, oh, you're going down, bro. You're going down.
And then?
Well, then I was pretty good. But he was, you know, he's got a ping pong table in his basement of his office. So, you know, of course, I'm not going to win. And I got a wonky eye. I was competitive. I got a wonky eye.
Excuses.
I got all my excuses lined up. We had some good ping pong. It was fun. Stream the Jar podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts, or better yet, join myself and the Jar for a conversation in your city.